All right. Welcome everyone again to one of our Jewel from our Jewels. I'm really excited to have our guest today, Emerald Ambassador Janelle Espling from Southern California. And we have been able to kind of promote together. I remember going to my Super Saturday, my second Super Saturday, and her being on the stage, and I think she was pregnant at the time. And that's when I really first met her. And I just love her. She's an amazing teacher, and I learn from her every time. I'm going to let her tell her background and her story and about her precious baby and her wonderful husband. And we just enjoyed each other at Hawaii. So here she is, the wonderful Janelle Esplings.
You're so sweet. Thank you, Cindy. Thanks for having me on.
Mute everybody here. Sorry, mute. Mute.
I get it.
Mute. Got it. We got it. All right.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. It's always such an honor when another leader asks you to pour into their team, because I know I'm a little picky when it comes to who I let talk to my team. So it's always an honor when someone gives you that place to speak to your team. So just a little bit about me before I dive into my story and kind of what I'm talking about today. I was a special ed teacher. I was in the field of special ed for like 13 years and was in the classroom for 5 years. My specialty was moderate to severe disabilities. So the autism community is a big part of my network. Kids that were nonverbal and had like low cognitive skills, that's a big part of my network. Families that have kids with disabilities is a big part of my network. I am a stepmom. When I married my husband, I also got 2 incredible kids and then became a mother of a little baby. And I'm also a pastor's wife. So balancing all of those things, I totally get it. For those of you that are pulled in many different directions, I totally get it. So my Plexus story began almost 3 years ago, which I can't believe I'm coming up on the number 3. I've said 2.5 for a really long time. So I'm coming to grips with the number 3. But I basically saw a friend that I went to college with posting on Facebook. She was losing some baby weight, and I sort of just stalked her for about a month and a half until I finally decided to jump in. I jumped in on a Black Friday sale because that's just what I do. I like a sale, and I became an ambassador because I don't pay full price for anything. I had just gotten my master's degree a year prior. I was a very happy special ed teacher, loved my job. I was not looking for a business at all, had no desire to do network marketing. But when I signed up, we had some things going on. I was wanting to lose weight, and I also had some other health issues that I was dealing with. I have really terrible seasonal issues, those itchy eyes, itchy throat, itchy nose. I have really terrible discomfort in my back, chronic discomfort from being a teacher for a very long time, working with little kids, being 5'11", very tall, just did a lot of damage to my back. And I also had a condition that causes acid to go from my stomach into my esophagus, so that would make me feel nauseated daily and throw up almost every other day. That was part of my daily routine as a teacher. My assistants in my classroom just knew, oh, Ms. Bruner or Ms. Espling she's throwing up. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll be right back.
Wow.
But on top of all of those things, we were really stressed out financially. And myself being an educated teacher, and my husband getting his master's degree, I was teaching full-time and working 2 part-time jobs after school. So all of those things, trying to be a good wife, trying to be a good stepmom, trying to be a good pastor's wife, trying to be a good teacher, you just can't do everything well when you're so stretched so thin. And we didn't have any extra money. So my sponsor said, why don't you try to get at least your products covered. Get a couple customers, try to cover the cost of your products. And so I actually did that like within 15 minutes of being an ambassador. I got 2 customers immediately. And so then she started encouraging me to share on social media. And my business just really started to explode. And I wasn't really looking for a business, but it really showed me that there was potential here. And so I kind of just threw myself all in. to the products, threw myself all into the business, and was able to quit those 2 part-time jobs very quickly. I matched that income in my first month with Plexus. And so it changed our life really fast. Months down the road, all of those health issues had gone away. I still, to this day, I'm not nauseated. It's been almost 3 years. That's the most life-changing for me, to not be throwing up randomly and feeling sick all the time. And so my business was just growing and growing, and we dreamed about possibly being able to get pregnant and quitting the full-time teaching job. And so when I was pregnant, I ranked to Emerald, and I was able to go on early maternity leave. And so I've been home now. My baby girl's 16 months. So I've been home a long time now, which is crazy because it never was an option for us. So that's my Plexus journey in a nutshell.
And the baby comes to all the trips and everything.
Yeah.
We all know her.
Call her my accessory. She's just like always with me.
Mm-hmm.
So any pictures you see of me, she's normally on my hip right there with me.
Yep.
It's a blessing to be able to travel everywhere with her, take her everywhere with me. And it's just fun to not have to worry about leaving her somewhere and getting to do this with her. So she's definitely my why. So with that, I want to, now that you know a little bit about me, I want to share something that's really close to my heart, something that I really trained my team on. And it's really part of mindset, but maybe not necessarily when you automatically think of mindset. I think a lot of people think of, oh, just be positive. We've got to be positive. Think good things about yourself. Yes, that is a huge part of mindset, but mine comes from more of a motivation from your heart. And so the title of my training today is called Let Love Be Your Drive. And I'm going to kind of unfold that and what that looks like in every area of your business. Love is the most powerful force on the planet. Scripture even says that out of faith and hope and love is the greatest by far. And so when we incorporate love in who we are, and that overflows into our business, we see a really different attitude and a really different reception when people hear us talk, because they know our heart is in it. Mark Cole is the CEO of John Maxwell's 6 companies, and I got to hear him speak last year, and he said that every person wants to know the answer to 3 questions. The first is, do you authentically love me? Do you authentically love me? 2, can you help me? And 3, can I trust you? So I'll say that again. Do you authentically love me? Can you help me? And can I trust you? And if you think about all of the relationships in your life, from, kind of the least significant relationship, maybe, an acquaintance, maybe even a cashier or something. Do you authentically love me? Can you help me? Can I trust you? Well, maybe you're not talking about a deep kind of love, but do you care about me? Are you going to respect me as a human being? Are you going to help me with what I need you to do? And can I trust you with running my credit card? Kind of basic things to, your more deep relationships. And I think this really, really applies to our Plexus business. And I think all of us can look at potentials looking at us in that way, our customers and ambassadors. Because if people don't feel like you actually care about them and that they're just a sale to you, it's such a turnoff. People would rather pay twice as much and go to someone that cares about them. Can you help me? Are you really in this to help me? Are you just in this to help yourself? People want to know, does my life matter? Does what I want matter? And can I trust you? Is the information I'm giving you, are you a trustworthy person? Can I trust that you have my best interest in mind? So with that, those 3 questions, I always try to keep in my head when I'm talking to anybody, because most people, that's on their forefront of their mind. Maybe they don't know that, but for all of us, we can say we probably think about that when we're interacting with people. So I'm going to talk about 4 areas in your Plexus, non-Plexus life about how we can let love drive you. And so I'm going to start with kind of your non-Plexus life, people that might not be in your network, a potential or anything like that, just people that you're interacting with. So in your everyday life, look for opportunities to be a blessing to people. Be that person that someone looks at and says, yeah, she's the one that smiles at me, or he's the one that goes out of his way to say, hi, how are you doing? You know, I had a really crappy day and that person came over and just said, hey, I hope you have a great day today. I mean, look for opportunities to be that person. Seek to be a blessing to people. You know, I go to several groups during the week. I go to Bible studies and mommy groups and stuff like that. And so there's lots of opportunities to interact with people that are very lonely. You know, we are surrounded by lonely, hurting people. And so maybe you don't have the answer to all of their problems, but maybe you could be that person that encourages them in that moment, or sits with them when they're crying, or gives them a hug. I mean, simple things. I'm not talking about saving the world, but being that person where someone can look at you and say, she really cares about people. And not only people, she really cares about me. And you know, really getting to know people and showing them that they matter. It's said that a person's name is the sweetest word they'll ever hear. And I'm really terrible with names because I meet a lot of new people all the time. And so I really seek to get their name if I can. But even if I can't get their name, if I could get some information about them. I might not know their name, but I know they have a baby that's 6 months old. I might not know their name, but I know they just got a haircut last week. You know, little things like that that matter to people, that show them that they're seen. You know, taking the time to reach out to people to show them that you see them. You know, when someone posts something on Facebook, maybe you haven't talked to them in 10 years, or maybe you haven't talked to them in a couple of months. When you see something on Facebook, take that time to message them. You know, I know it sounds silly, but we're such a culture of liking and commenting. Take a moment and message them and say, oh my gosh, that picture of your daughter, so cute. I can't even handle it. You know, because those things stand out, because now we're becoming accustomed to a certain level of interaction. And when you go a little bit farther, it means something to people. If someone posts about a traumatic event, you know, their family or whatever, take the time to personally message them and just let them know you're thinking about them or praying for them. Just really seeking for opportunities to encourage and speak life into people. And I think when you do that, people, before you even get to plexus, even if they never get to plexus, people have a respect for you, and they respect you in your profession and what you're claiming about products and claiming about income. And if and when you do talk to them about plexus, you've already established that you're a person they could trust. Mm-hmm. I'm going to kind of move on into potentials. So kind of reaching out to people, when you let love drive you, you just approach things differently. Mm-hmm. So I'll talk about posting on Facebook. Some people are really terrified about posting on Facebook. Some people are great about posting on Facebook. But I want to encourage you that first, you should be doing it consistently, because if you're not, you're missing out. It's free and you have an opportunity to reach so many people. But I want to challenge you to think about your heart when you post, and think about your attitude when you post. It's a very different thing to post, you know, memes on getting healthy, or ha ha ha, like you think plexus doesn't work, versus posting something that's going to encourage a mom that wants to stay home with her babies to join you because she could possibly stay home. I say it like this. Every day, every single day, people in your network are going to bed at night crying themselves to sleep for whatever reason. Most of the time, it's probably money. That's the number one stressor. It's the number one reason why people get divorced. It's the number one thing that people are stressed out about. And it doesn't matter what your income is. If you're broke and, you know, you are on welfare, or you're bringing in 6 figures, but you're still stressed out because you have a mountain of debt, money is a huge stressor. And we have something that can help everyone in your network. There are people tonight that are going to go to bed tonight because they just went to the doctor today and they heard a diagnosis and they are freaking out because they don't know what that means for them and their family. People are going to bed tonight stressed out because the principal keeps calling them because their son is out of control in the classroom, and they don't know what else to do. I mean, you are surrounded every day with people that are stressed and they don't ever post it on Facebook. They don't even tell their closest friends and family. And so when you post, think of how you're posting and how it could inspire someone and how it could help someone. How can what I post show them that Plexus could maybe be that thing, that missing puzzle piece that makes all the difference? Maybe if their son's gut got in check, maybe it doesn't solve everything, but maybe it helps them focus in class and it helps them with behaviors. Maybe if they try Plexus Slim, that'll get some of their levels in check so they're not at high risk for having a heart attack and dying young. Thinking of those things. So when you post from a place of love, post from a place of, how is this going to help someone and be a blessing to someone versus just simply posting to get it done or simply posting to get a sale. It's a very, very different attitude. And I think a lot of times we let fear or pride get in our way. We're scared of rejection. We're scared of what people might think of us. We don't want to let down that pride wall. Like I said, I was a teacher with a master's degree. I didn't really want to step out and do network marketing. And I had a lot of pride about that. But when your heart is in it to say, what I have can help people. And if I can just get that message to you that what I have could be a blessing to you and could change everything, the heart behind it is different and people receive it differently.
Amen. I gotta say.
Thank you. Just like on a side note with that, I go to a breastfeeding support group once a week, and about every 6 weeks or so, there's always a mom that has a breakdown. Well, pretty much moms have a breakdown every other week or every week because breastfeeding is rough. But about every 6 weeks, a mom has a breakdown because she has to go back to work. And she is just overwhelmed with the thought of having to go back to work. And every time, the room is crying because most mamas don't want to have to do that. And we have something that can help. And so when I post, a large part of my network is moms, I'm posting for that mama to show her that this is possible for you too. It's not just for me, it's possible for you too. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to kind of move on past just posting, but, messaging people when love is your drive, you interact with people differently. I train my team that, you ask a lot of questions and you make it all about them. You don't need to give them information overload. It's all about getting to know what they need, what their goals are, and that what they want. The reality is that some people, there may be a glaring health issue, but they're more concerned about losing 20 pounds. Even Jesus, when people would come to Jesus would ask them, what do you want? What is it that you want from me? Jesus knew what they needed, but he wanted to know what they wanted. And so getting to know their goals, because honestly, sometimes we could help people feel better, but if they don't lose that 20 pounds, then they're going to jump ship because their goal is the 20 pounds. And hopefully that's not the case. Like I said, for me, my goal was losing weight, but I felt better. And so I stuck around longer to lose the weight because the weight didn't come off as quickly, but I stuck around because I felt better. So really just getting to know them and getting to know their goals, getting to know their health goals, their financial goals. I have a video called What Do You Say on my YouTube page. It's one of my most popular videos. And it kind of goes through exactly step by step what I recommend, asking people and kind of talking to them. But again, I think when you so quickly jump in and give everybody a solution and tell them about, the clinical trials and tell them about everything that's done for you, but you're not taking the time to know what they want, people are super turned off by that. They want to know that you care about them because we don't, we know Triplex helps with most issues, but you've got to know what they need. And then kind of moving on to following up, you guys know this, I'm sure you've heard it a million times, 80% of sales happen after the 5th to 12th follow-up. And so I think, again, when your mindset is that what I have helps people, what I have can change their whole life, and I care about this person, and so I'm going to follow up because I care about this person versus I got to make a sale, I got to meet this quota, and I know we're not that shallow, but I think sometimes, again, we let fear and pride get in the way. We let fear in that I don't want to bug them, I don't want to sound annoying, I'm tired of being rejected. I'm tired of my messages being ignored, but that's all about you. That's very self-centered. But when you make it about them and say, you know what, that's fine. If they don't answer me back, that's okay, because I know I'm doing my part, and hopefully they'll join me on this journey, and this will really help them and their family. So switching your mindset to letting love drive you. Again, life is busy. Life is crazy. You guys all know this. We have no idea what people are going through. We have no idea why they don't message you. There could be a million reasons, but we just have to have integrity enough to reach out to them from a place of caring about them. And really, this could be life or death for some people. This could be a long life for someone or a short life for someone. This could be financial stability for someone or not. This could be a mama staying home or going back to work. And I just want to preface to say that I'm not ever saying that it's bad to go back to work. For me, there would be no possible way I could stay home if it weren't for Plexus. I just know most of the moms that I talk to would rather stay home with their babies if it was an option. So I think, always making it about that person and letting love be that thing that propels you. And then finally, in talking to potentials, maintain that relationship. I had someone who told me no for forever. And I think he took the products really inconsistently, but it would help him when he would consistently take him. His numbers would lower and all that stuff. And forever, he would never become an ambassador, but he referred so many people to me. And it's because no matter what, whether he was my customer or not, whether, he was in a place where he could buy Plexus or not, I was just maintaining that relationship, asking him about grad school, asking him about his jobs, asking him about his health journey, and just maintaining the fact that I really cared about him, whether or not he was going to be my customer. And I just think that when people trust you and see that you care about them and you care about people, that they'll give you their friends and family because they know that you'll take care of them. They're not going to give you their friends and family if they feel like you're going to be a hawk and just make a sale. I have ambassadors on my team who I've literally never met before, and the only reason I got connected with them is because someone referred me to them. And I think they'll always know that they can go to you because you don't know how someone's life might change. They may tell you no for a year, and then they go to the doctor and they get that blood work back, and they're like, crap, I better do something about this. I know who to go to because she's always cared about me, and I know she has an answer for my problem. And so just maintain that relationship. Again, minor things, I would say like, wow, your child's in soccer. She's so big now. I can't believe that. You look like such a busy mom, just basic communication and interaction with people so they know that you see them and care. I'm going to kind of go on to customers and kind of loving your customers. Honestly, I think for most people, for someone to come to a point where they're ready to buy your products, a lot of people have to overcome so much. They have to overcome that price barrier. They have to overcome that humbleness of saying like, I need help. What I'm doing isn't working. I need you to help me. They have to overcome so much. Maybe they have a spouse that is telling them that it's not going to work or whatever. And so all those things, those obstacles they have to overcome, maybe they have to overcome their own lifestyle and their own negative attitude. So all these things that are against them to be successful, we have an honor and privilege of making sure their experience is the best experience possible. And so in that, make sure you're taking care of your customers. I know this is really basic, but so often, I just hear people signing people or people I would say would come to me and say, yeah, I tried Plexus and all this stuff happened. And I'd say, well, did that person walk it through with you? And they'd say, oh no, I just bought it. And I would think, oh God, that hurts my heart because now this person has a horrible association with Plexus. And it's only because somebody didn't take the time to help them. So in the beginning, send them directions on how to take their product, especially the triplex, you guys, because if you're not walking them through that, 30% of people have candida die-off symptoms. 30% of your customers and ambassadors probably are going to have some sort of detox. And if you are not helping them and walking them through it, they could quit really easily when this could really, really change their life. So what I do, I have on my YouTube channel, I have directions for all of the combos and even some of just the popular single products. And I send my YouTube, and most of my team uses my my videos. If you want to make your own videos, I mean, I like it because it's my face and it's people that I love and know. They're seeing me tell them how to take their products. But you guys can feel free to use that or make your own. Some people prefer to send typed out directions. Whatever it is, make sure you're sending them directions and following up with them, because I promise you, if they start getting detox symptoms and you're not checking in with them, they might just jump ship if they don't see that this is temporary and it'll be worth it in the long run. Obviously, we all have people that you reach out to and they never reply and then they quit. There's only so much you could do, but I'm talking about having the integrity yourself to reach out to them, whether they reply or not, whether you get rejected or not, to make sure they have a good experience. It's more important to take care of that person than to get that PV every month. You want to make sure they're having the best experience possible. When we had, months and months ago when we had shipping issues going on, I would have ambassadors telling me like, oh, this person ordered and they didn't get their product for 3 weeks. And I said, well, why are you waiting now? You're messaging me now, like 5 weeks later. I would be pissed too. And, I just found out that they didn't get their shipment. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why the heck are you just finding out now? That tells me the big problem is that you're not checking in with your people, because there's no reason why you should go 5 weeks and you're getting a surprise of someone didn't get their product. If you're following up with them and checking in with them, there should never be a lapse that long. And so we can bridge that gap as long as we're taking care of people. Just another thing, just continuing to build relationships with your customers. Again, outside of talking about Plexus, don't only message them about Plexus, message them about other things in their life so that they know, again, that you care about them as a person. And even if they decide to quit, continue to build that relationship with them, because people come back. I've had plenty of people take the products, they didn't work, and then a year later, they're back on the products for 6 months. Well, it's probably that the products didn't work then. It's probably something you're not telling me, but that's okay, because you knew that you could trust me and I wasn't going to judge you or give you a hard time, that you could come back to me and it would be a safe place. I'm kind of on the tail end here. I'm going to talk about ambassadors, loving your team, letting love drive you. All of the people on this call have teams. Yes, Cindy? This is gold and above, right? Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. So all of you guys have people that you're taking care of. One big mistake that I did in the beginning, because my business grew really fast in the beginning, is that I just signed people. Sign. And I would send them like 5 tips. And then because I was off and running, I was really self-motivated. I just figured things out. I didn't need a lot of hand-holding. I just took off. Well, I did that to all of my ambassadors. I just sign, and then I'd send them 5 tips and then expected them to all take off. Well, we know that normally doesn't happen with most of our team. And so a big thing that I really think is so important is that as soon as someone signs up, take the time, hop on the phone with them. I try to do this with like my levels 1 through 3. Obviously, it doesn't always happen. People always don't hop on the phone, but I really want to know their goals, because we might have a goal that they reach silver. We might have a goal that they get to gold or they get to diamond. But if their goal is simply to cover the cost of their product, or their goal is simply to make $50 so the product is expensive, then we're going to end up being frustrated. They're going to be frustrated because you keep harping on them. And it's just not going to be a positive experience. So on my team, I always say, your goals are my goals. Whatever it is that you want, I want to help you get there. And so for most people, starting point is getting their products covered. Most people would say, even if they don't want to do the business, that they would like to get their products covered. So, okay, let's break that down for what that means for you and your family. And obviously, you're always trying to inspire them to dream bigger and want more. But I mean, I have a mom that I met her in my breastfeeding support group. She took off. She went silver her first month. And she's one that I could see going to the top. And she told me, Janelle, I just can't It's not, I would like to, but for me and my family's goals, I just don't want to put in the time and effort. And so that's okay, because she's happy with her few $100 a month. That is like more than what she ever thought she could achieve with Plexus. And she's good. And so obviously I'll continue to inspire her and continue to motivate her to maybe go for bigger. But if she's happy, hey, I'm happy. If she's happy, she's going to stick around for a long time, and she's going to continue to tell a lot of people about Plexus. So let love drive you. Help them see that their goals mean something to them and their family. Don't just let them make a goal of $100 or $500. Help them break down what that means for them. Does that mean dance lessons for their daughter? Does that mean that covers the car payment? Does that mean that gets their husband to work 5 hours less a week? He gets to come home an hour early. Every day, whatever that means, help them break that down so that can motivate them. And then what you're working with. From a heart place how to help them rather than just meeting a quota or goal. One thing that I try and do is really figure out what motivates people, because I learned, it actually took me a long time to learn this, that not everybody is motivated by the same things I'm motivated. Not everybody cares about the same things I care about. And so getting to really get to know what it is that drives people and encourages them. A couple logistical things. I always try to remind people of their auto shipment, particularly my level ones. And I do that just because, for the same reasons I've been talking about, I want to take care of them. And same with preferred customers. Sometimes I drop the ball, but I try my best to remind them beforehand, because again, I want them to have a positive experience with Plexus. I want them to walk away from Plexus, should they walk away, and say, yeah, it didn't work for me, but it's a really good company and those people are really great people, versus, whatever it is they could have in their mouth. When I was in undergrad, I can't remember what bank it was, but terrible financial situation. I was always overdrafted on my account, and the bank would always charge me. And to this day, I hate that bank. But it's actually my fault, because I was mismanaging my money and I was letting it go overdrawn, and I was just mad because they would charge me all the time. Well, the conditions were pretty clear. I knew I was going to get those charges, but to this day, I hate that bank. And so I think the same thing with Plexus. Most of America lives paycheck to paycheck. And so it sucks, obviously, if you remind someone about an auto shipment and they turn off. Nobody likes that. But I would rather take care of my friend. And if it's a matter between their bank account's going to go negative and they're turning off their auto qual, I'd rather make sure my friend is taken care of. And I have a friend who's been on the products for over a year, very inconsistent with the products. So she's seen some progress, but not as much as she needs to. And so she has an overlog of products. And every month I tell her, hey girl, I just want you to know, your auto ship's coming up. If you need to edit it, I'm here to help you. And she messaged me last month and just said, I just want you to know that I really feel like you have my back, Janelle. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, absolutely. Friendship trumps business every time. Mm-hmm. And she said, yeah, I can see that. I feel like I can trust you to take care of me as a friend. And that meant so much to me, because that's my goal, is to make sure that whoever comes to me knows, first, I care about you. Everything else, we'll figure that out. The only thing you take with you to heaven is people. And so we've got to foster that. She's actually now, after a year, she's been on my team page since the beginning of her journey. She's a wholesale ambassador. She's now saying that she wants to build a business, and her husband are entrepreneurial rock stars, which just cracks me up, because I would have never, ever thought she's going to take her products consistently. But she's ready to start her business and get her family all involved with the business. And I think it's so much because I've invested so much in that relationship. Kind of wrapping up with your ambassadors, I'd really try, it's the end of the month, when your team is close to 100 PV, especially if they're making money, making sure they hit the 100 PV, making sure people that are close to 500 PV, you're messaging them, because that's a big jump in their paycheck. And continuing to build relationships with people, again, outside of the business side of Plexus, but just messaging people because you care about them, getting to know them messaging them about traumatic things that happen in their life, just checking in to see how they're doing. I think when you have relationships with people, it builds loyalty, and people stick around for a long time when they feel like you care. Kind of wrapping up, for us, for me, obviously, my big why, my big goal is financial freedom for my family. There are a lot of things that I want to do for my family, and that should drive us. But love should also drive us forward and propel us to help all of the people in our world, whether they could become part of our Plexus world or not, their customers, potentials, or ambassadors. That should be the drive that gets us to motivate people to help us overcome our fears and overcome our pride. And so I'll just kind of leave this at the very end, something that's on my heart. Proverbs 2:3 says, "Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man." And I really believe that when love is our driving force, it gives us favor with so many people and opens doors that we couldn't open with just being smart and eloquent. So with that, that's my training for today. Let love drive you, and go Plexus.
I loved it. Love, love, love. Lots of notes. That was amazing. And thank you so much. I can take you on your heart. And this is exactly what I know God has for all of us, spreading this Plexus. I mean, we're ambassadors for Christ. We're ambassadors for Plexus. Love is one of the commandments. It's really important. So thank you again for taking this time with us. We learned so much, and I loved what we talked about, love. So let's put that word at the forefront of our minds today as we go out and about and see what God's going to do with our day. And thank you again. Everybody can unmute, and let's thank her.